of the race.
Just in terms of the school mandates, obviously that's a big, big change. Have you spoken to legislative leaders about this, and how much legislative, push are you going to go here to try to make this a reality?
Well, I think so. On the Department of Health, do you want to address those specific vaccines that are on? It's like hepatitis. Some of the ones that would not have been required when I was growing up, for example. I think by and large, okay. So you can do that. So that'll happen, and then the rest will be. I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a big medical freedom package. I think that you should not ever be discriminated against, regardless of these choices. And so, I think it's wrong for pediatricians to refuse to see a patient if the child's parents don't want them taking the hepatitis vaccine. I think that's wrong. And it's coercive. And what it does is it tries to undercut your ability to choose by almost kind of ostracizing people that have made different decisions. And these are all very marginal things. As I said, they didn't do hepatitis when I was a kid. But I think what we'll have is a larger package. I think that Joe will lead on this and be working with legislatures on this. But we need to make all the protections I talked about that we enacted are not permanent law. They did it temporarily, then they extended it. I want it to be permanent. And I suspect, and I'm concerned about that, because I think some of these folks, in the legislature may be like, oh, well, if we can just wait the governor out, then we know, that after that, then this stuff will somehow lapse. And that's not right. It was wrong to do vaccine passports in 2021. It's wrong to do them in 2025, and it will be wrong to do them in 2035. And we need to make that permanent. So there'll be a broad package. I think there'll be an array of things, and I think this commission will help inform some of those proposals. But they'll just track our basic principles: informed consent, parental rights, and individual responsibility and medical freedom.
Have you talked to legislative leaders yet about this package?
So some of the stuff we tried to get last year, like the permanent COVID, the protections against the coercion, they extended it, but they did not do the permanent. And so we're going to try again on that. Now, the mandate issue with the schools, that's Joe called me last night and said, hey, this is where I think we should shoot for. Are you okay if I do it? And I said, shoot for the moon, man. You're the Surgeon General. If you think this is good, do it. So he's going to be working with the legislature. I don't think he's had a chance to discuss this with them. We knew we were making the announcement about the non-statutory mandates. Well, first of all, it's one thing if a legislature enacts something and a governor signs it, but to just have an agency issue a mandate, I don't think that that's appropriate. So I think what he's doing is absolutely right on that, irrespective of even the medical, which I think, as he's pointed out, is probably not something that, the reasonable people can make different decisions on those. But just from a constitutional perspective, it's like to just give an agency roving authority to issue mandates. I don't think that's good constitutional government. So he's reeling that in. I think that'll be good.